This is for the Focus on Form. We are week number 4. This week we'll look at the powerful tool of leaning forward when we run. So it's very useful to improve our running economy. Basically what I mean by that is, we look at the physics of it, how to best use gravity as an ally when we run. As we've seen in week 3, bouncing is not very efficient because we want to go that way, straight line. And when we bounce, we're fighting against gravity up, and then gravity brings us really strongly down. So it's just a waste of energy in that sense. The same as, how can I use gravity then at its best when I run? When I go forward, right? So by leaning forward, basically falling in that phase, if I fall, how much energy am I using? 0. So how about running would be simply constantly falling forward, right? So I'm constantly using gravity, not fighting against it, and let it do the work. So we want to lean forward from our ankle. So basically the whole body will start falling forward. So it's not the head, it's not at the hip or the knees. Really from down there at the ankle, I want to start constantly falling forward. I want to stay tall and kind of keeping in mind to shift my hip a little bit forward as well. Just again, if we're sitting back, it will stop us to potentially use gravity to fall forward. So this may help, but as long as you don't bend, right? So just shift them. So overarch maybe, keep that tight, but you're falling from the ankle first. Then, if I just fall and I do nothing else, I'm actually gonna hit myself on the ground. So what happened is, if I want to keep moving forward, is at a certain level, I'm gonna start lifting my foot from the ground so I can be somewhere else. So I'm constantly inclined. Basically, when you look a series of photos of someone running, he or she should be more or less constantly inclined. If the person is straightforward, it's not as efficient as it should be. So you got to find just the right point of friction of when to start lifting your foot from the ground. Again, as we've seen in week number 3, we lift our foot and not landing. So I'm constantly falling and lift, 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 right? Simple, but this is, I find, one of the most powerful tools. If you haven't used it yet, test it out during the whole week in your running session. You will see the difference. You're actually going to be faster. And so again, it's just to find the right point of friction. So starting from to start bending or inclining from my ankle, being upright, shifting my hips a little bit forward constantly, and I'm falling at each step of the way. Keep in mind, the pace at which you're going will change how much you will incline or not. And so it's also a tool of acceleration, deceleration. If I'm sprinting, I might be a little bit more inclined, you know. The stop photo will look like this, more or less. If I'm doing a marathon, maybe I'm going to be more this way inclined because it's not the same speed. But if I'm cruising on a marathon and then I want to pass someone, I will incline a little bit more. I will lean forward a little bit more to create that acceleration to pass a person maybe, and then go back to my cruising pace I was before. So use it, yes, in a general matter, but then test it out when you want to speed up or decelerate. I can't remember what the last thing I wanted to say about this. I'll write it down if I get back to it. All right, so week 4, lean forward.